Yes, you're buying a house. And yes, you're trying to decide if you need to get more than just the regular home inspection that you've heard so much about. Let's take a couple of minutes and talk about the different types of inspections you may want to consider. I'm Jim Aldred with Pink Door Properties in Norwell. It's critical for you as a buyer to understand the need for home inspection. Inspections are negotiated by your Realtor when writing up the offer to purchase, but the basic home inspection only goes so far as to what they'll cover. There could be unforeseen problems in the home, so it becomes essential to check for potential problems. So what are these other types of home inspections you might want to consider? Let's take a look at some of them. Pest inspections. A pest inspection covers all types of intruders like termites, carpenter ants, mice, and other types of wildlife. It's essential to check for these pests because they can create havoc in any property. Termites can be especially dangerous because they can attack structural integrity of the home. During a wood-destroying organism inspection, the inspector will look for evidence of active infestation, signs of past infestation, and any potential trouble spots. They will also check for open areas where mice, bats, and other wildlife can easily enter the home. A report will be generated detailing the findings of the inspection, as well as potential solutions for any issues that were discovered. Radon inspection. One of the more common tests that are performed as part of the home inspection process these days is checking for radon. Radon is a gas that can be harmful to humans if it enters the air. Radon is created when radioactive elements in the earth gradually break down, and it enters the home through cracks in your basement floor. It can be released from the well water servicing your home as well. Generally, a radon test is conducted over a period of approximately 48 hours by leaving either a test canister or radon testing machine in the lowest livable area of the house. Radon remediation is relatively inexpensive. Mold inspections. Most home inspectors will check for blatantly obvious mold. If they see something suspicious, they'll point it out. It will then be up to the buyer whether to do any further investigation. Mold is often misdiagnosed. Many times, mildew and water staining are misidentified as mold. There are companies that specifically work in the mold testing and remediation business. It is vital to get a qualified recommendation from someone you know and trust, like a real estate agent. If you're worried about mold that could be potentially lurking behind walls, a mold inspection will be necessary. Inspectors will use a moisture meter to determine whether there is any water present in the area being inspected. Mold inspectors also take air samples to determine levels of mold. Structural foundation. Home inspectors will carefully look at the foundation and structural supports of a home for structural integrity. Every home has cracks, and most are minor. It's the serious ones that are the ones that should be concerned with. When a home inspector flags a significant foundation crack or a crack supporting member that could make the building structurally unsound, they'll recommend a second professional's opinion. This is where a structural engineer would be consulted. They'll be able to tell you that there's nothing to be worried about or that it needs structural repair. Lead paint. In a home that was built prior to 1978, it's possible that lead paint was used, and it's not unusual to find it in much older homes. If a child under the age of 6 years old is going to be residing in a house built before 1978 which has lead paint, it is federal law to notify the buyer, have the house de-leaded, or have a situation brought under interim control within 90 days of closing. Buyers are not required by law to test, but it may make sense to do so when you have young kids who might likely chew on the woodwork. Eating lead paint can cause devastating health consequences, and in the end, it's the buyer that needs to decide if it makes sense to check for these or other potential problems. If you have a question about home inspections, or selling a current home, or purchasing a new one on Boston South Shore, give me a call. I'd love to help you. I'm Jim Aldred.